Hey, long time no see. It's the second video for my channel, sorta. Really the third, I think, but it's the second one where I'm actually painting. Anyway, hope you're doing well. Today is November 14th, 2023. And today, even though I'm in Florida, and even though there really isn't much autumn foliage out there, I thought I would paint a painting of autumn foliage. And so we're going to start with this blank canvas right here. I have a pencil I'm going to use to start it with, and I have a reference photo that I got from a video on the internet. It's a guy, I think it's a couple actually, and they call themselves Trout and Coffee. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to use this. It's one of their a screenshot from their video, and basically it's a pretty simple painting, but it's a pretty simple idea. We're going to have the road that the vehicle is on, and it goes like this. It comes down here and then goes around here, goes back to here, so it goes off into the distance pretty quickly, but it has a little curve right here, and then way over here is the other side of it. It goes down to here. So if that makes sense, this is the road getting very wide as it gets closer to the vantage point, the point of view. So I don't know if you can see my pencil line, but there's the little pencil lines. Now that just disappears into the woods, and basically the rest of it is trees and a lot of color. And what's really going to make this picture pop is the dappled light that'll be shining on the side of the road and on the road itself. And then we do have, they have a Volkswagen bus in this picture, and it's about right there. And so we use that also. I think that makes a very interesting painting. So thank you to Trout and Coffee. Beautiful video channel, by the way. And we're just going to start from here. You know what, I might have made, that looks okay. I guess that's okay. Yeah, there's our rough, very rough sketch. Now, what I did last time is I taped the whole thing. I let the tape roll the entire time. I think that might have been a mistake because I ended up having to edit a lot. It was like 2.5 hours long. I don't think you want to watch that. I am toying with the idea of doing live streaming videos as I do these, so then they would be long. But right now it's still a new channel. There's nobody out there. So if you're watching this, thank you for doing that. Subscribe, please, and build up my channel a little bit so we can help as many people with their painting. It's not just about learning to paint, by the way. It's also about learning to relax. Okay, so if you are somebody who it's not that important to you to be a great painter, you just want something that'll help you relax, trust me, this is great. This is my second video on here, and both of them are indoors. But I will be going out. It's so beautiful to go out into the open and do a plein air painting and not use a photograph as a reference. But that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay? All right. So I'm going to turn the camera off, and I'll be right back after I'm going to put an under painting on here. You'll see when I come back. Okay? Okay. So let's start. I'll show you my palette. I use a paper palette. Not that you need, you could use a paper plate if you want, but this is kind of cool because when you're done you rip it off and throw it away. And what I have on the palette that is not white, that is gesso. It dries clear. I have two shades of red, I have a blue, I have a burnt umber or a brown, and that's white right there. If you want to know about the gesso, this is what it's called, gesso, and it just helps seal the surface. I'm guessing that this is a factory canvas, so it's probably not that important. Now what I'm doing is complementary colors. So the road going to be a lot of orangish colors from the foliage, and there's a little bit of orange here, and there's a lot of green still in the leaves too. The foliage hasn't changed completely. So the opposite of green is red. The opposite of orange is blue. Very, very rough, we're going to put it down. That's why I'm using a house painting brush. So first let's take the gesso. This is just dries clear now. I'm just going to put a very thin coat of gesso on the canvas, and then I'm going to add the colors. So right now you really can't see what I'm doing because it's white on white gesso on white canvas. But I just want to kind of spread it all over the thing and give it a nice background. It also will, as you see, it's starting to pick up the graphite from the pencil that I put on there. And that's a good thing, because then it'll dry and I won't be mixing in with the colors later on. But they're still there enough for me to see what the original composition was of the painting. Okay? So basically I have now covered the entire canvas with that gesso. And now we're going to do a rough idea here. So we're going to take the blue, which is going to go where the orange will be. I'm going to kind of mix in some browns and some whites and kind of just spread it around so that we have a lot of blue where the orange will be. Although it's not a science, it's an art, so it doesn't have to be exact. And I think that's the idea there. And then we're going to do the same thing here, because I think the road has a lot of orange in it, a lot of tones that are going to be in the red and orange range. And I'm just kind of putting it in here, not worrying about the lights and the darks right now, just trying to get an underpainting. And as I say, paintings look ugly in the beginning. They always look ugly. I very rarely start out with a pretty painting. In fact, I never do. All right, now, so the rest of it, you got little patches of orange that'll be shown here and there. And so wherever there's blue, that's where the orange is going to be, with some exceptions. I'll make some exceptions, of course. And then let's take the red and put that where the green will be. And the green is going to be all over this thing because there are still lots of green leaves in the mix. And so we're going to do that. We don't worry about the dark tree. It's fine. We can use like a Payne's gray or something like that. But I mostly want to put complementary colors, or another way of saying that is opposite colors, down on the canvas. And it's always good to keep in mind that you want to have a good composition. The composition is half of the reason why a painting looks good. I mean, it might be more than half actually, but you get the idea. So yeah, so I'm trying to just create this a mix of different shades of almost like a purple now. It looks like the red has become purple because it's mixed with the blue. And we want to just get that red everywhere because that's where the green's going to be. And I'll try to smooth it out a little bit so that it doesn't take so long to dry. Because it's real thick, it takes a long time to dry. Yeah, so now you see what we have. We have the road here that's going to go into the distance and comes out this way. And then we're going to have the trees and of course the Volkswagen bus here. And here we go. And the red will work nicely under the green. The blue will look nice under the orange. And of course we're going to have the lights and the darks for the dappled light. Okay. So there's my technique. Really hard to see that that's going to be a painting, but it is. And you'll see before the end of this video. All right, I'm going to turn off the camera, go clean my brush, and I'll be back when this is dry. Okay? Okay, so there is the calculated mess that we just made. We're calling that the underpainting. and that will become an autumn scene as we progress. It's not dry yet, so I just wanted to turn the camera on just to show you how it looks now. Okay, so let's start painting it now. The underpainting is dry, and what I want to do is I want to take this area here and make it dark, and this area over here and make it dark, and then we'll work from there out. So I'm going to use burnt umber, mix it with a little bit of this green, and basically just kind of dab it in there and make it very dark. And I don't like it already. I already don't like it. So what I want to do is add something to make it darker, and I'm going to add my favorite color, Payne's Gray, Robin. It's one of my favorite colors because it's so versatile. It just does everything. It's not black. It looks black almost, but it's Payne's Gray. You see it right there? Alright, so I'm going to put that in with the mix too, just to make it darker. So Payne's Gray, some green. I'm going to dab it in there because I'm going to paint over. This is a layer now, so I'm using not a very small brush, but it's smaller than the house brush I used before. I'm just going to dab it in there. Make sure we get plenty of Payne's Gray, and we want this corner dark also. This corner is a foreground, and just going to dab it in there. Everything we're doing up until the point where we do the details is going to be very rough, and I like to do it in a pointillism kind of a way with these large dots, almost like pixels, I guess you would say, in a way. Okay. Just grab it. Not too worried about being exactly the right color. I'll mix a little bit of green in there now to kind of spread it out because the green is up here. Okay, a little bit of white in there just to spread it out. So what we want, the idea is to get this dark area to spread out into a lighter area. And then we'll have the basis for the color scheme of the whole composition. Okay? Alright, I'm going to turn the camera off now, and I'll come back when I have more done. Okay, so now you can see, if you can imagine this. So this is the real deep, dark part of the picture, back in the background. This is the foreground. The foreground is as dark as the background. This is going to be the road here, so I want to paint that while you're watching. And I think what I want to use is yellow ochre. Oops, sorry. Yellow ochre, or yellow oxide. I thought I had yellow ochre. Let me put a little bit of this on there. They don't look that different. But that's yellow oxide. And I thought I had yellow ochre. Let's see. That's yellow ochre right there. So let's compare the difference between yellow ochre and yellow oxide. See if we can tell the difference. No, there's not much difference. There is not much difference. There's the two right there. Those two yellows. Can you tell which is yellow ochre? This one is. And this one is yellow oxide. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the road now. Some of it. Just kind of give myself some idea of where the road is. Make it a lighter color using the two yellows, the yellow oxide and the yellow ochre. I don't want to go all the way to the back because that stays dark. That's in the shadows. And this is going to be where the sun is dappling off of the sand. I'm going to mix in a little bit of brown here to make it less uniform. And we got to remember to put that Volkswagen in there. That Volkswagen is about right there, I think. Let's kind of go ahead and put something there so I don't forget to put the Volkswagen there. Okay, and then Just keep adding this yellow ochre. The road comes around here. It's all still very loose, very impressionistic. And you see I'm just still dabbing it on there. I'm not really doing calculated brush strokes. I'm just doing the yellow ochre, the yellow oxide, and we can put a few little pieces around here where the light hits elsewhere, and the light will be coming from up here, so we can go ahead and add a few things over here, and that way when we get to that part we'll have some of it done. I think the Volkswagen is red, I think. I can't remember. Might be orange. Let me mix red and yellow together, make an orange. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the color of the Volkswagen. Pretty sure. Not 100%. And of course there would be a shadow underneath it. And we get the wheels. We're gonna get this, don't worry, it's gonna look good. Okay, now I don't know if you can see that, but there's the road. Come around this way. Okay. All right, a few more dabs up here, I think. I'm gonna work it out a little bit. Okay, still very sloppy, but you're getting to see it, hopefully. You can see where I'm going with it. And I'll get the camera, bring it closer so you can see. All right, well that's what we have so far. And you can see the road almost looks like that's gonna be a tunnel, but that's gonna be the Volkswagen. The trees, there were lots of trees here, all trees. Dappled light on the road, and of course a foreground bush right there. All right, we'll let it dry. We'll be right back. So I did a little bit while the camera was off. Basically, I thought that the Volkswagen should be a little bit smaller and a little bit lower and a little bit more to the right. So the original placement is different, and it's hard to see, but it's right there. And then the road still goes like this, and comes around here like this, and it goes way into the deep part of the woods, which are dark here. You can see the paint is still wet, and with the paint wet I can still manipulate some of these bright spots, but they're all going to be manipulated anyway as we get deeper into the painting. But now you see what we've done. We've created the foundation, if you will, for the painting that we want to do. And as you can see, I added, not while the camera was off, I did this while the camera was on, but I had that green in the mix. And there's red in the mix too. So I'm just adding, just kind of spreading it out a little bit. There's a practical reason for that too. It makes it dry quicker. And but also to take away the gigantic brush strokes that I have on here, make them smaller brush strokes. So when it dries, it doesn't look so brush strokey. But still, we want it to be a painterly look. We want it to look painterly. Okay, so I think that'll work now. So that'll be the road. There's the Volkswagen. And the road goes like that, comes around here. Yeah, so, all right. We'll continue now. Okay, now I'm going to take this smaller brush, this brush here, and I've put on the palette some more white. Can you see it? Some white, some light green, some yellow, some orange, and some more Payne's gray. And these other colors are still on the palette, so I can draw from them also. So let's start adding the leaves of the different trees. There's some bright, very bright ones up here. Very bright ones. I'm going to use a lot of yellow, a lot of orange, and a lot of white. Just make this as bright as possible. Don't want to make it look all one color. Just do a lot of different colors. but the overall effect is for it to be orange. So if you squint your eyes, you'll say that's an orange area. I'll just do a lot of them up here, a lot of bright yellow, just dots that represent leaves. And we'll add some yellow here and there. And some white. Okay, and then there's also some down here on the opposite side of that Volkswagen. We're going to have some leaves just poking out there. And we need more of this up here. And this red that's still left on here, I'm going to try to add a little bit more of that red, make it kind of pop out a little bit more than it is. There we go. And there's scattered bright spots all throughout the woods here, so I'll probably need to look at the reference photo again. But you're getting the idea, right? It's starting to look maybe like foliage. Let me get the reference photo and kind of compare it. I want to see what I'm doing here. I don't want to do it all from memory. So, okay, I don't know if you see that. So yeah, the orange is up here. Let's just keep the iPad open while I'm doing this. Just kind of scrubbing that orange up here. Lots of orange, lots of yellow. Yeah, just get it all in there. That's a good, and these, like I said, there's some speckled here and there. That white probably didn't need to be there. I'll cover it up a bit. We'll come down pretty far. Give some of these leaves down here some glow, a little bit of light hitting these leaves here. A couple of spaces in there. And then you'll notice there's some down here. There's a lot down here actually. Goes all the way around to this area. And this actually comes down too, so a lot of this is dark, so I'll kind of mix it in with the dark that's already there. Paint is mostly still wet, by the way. There we go. So now we're starting to get the look of a forest, I think. It's starting to look like a forest. We don't have any vertical lines yet, you notice, so that's something to pay attention to also. Alright, I'm going to try to create some of these bright spots in the roadway. Use the yellow ochre, use the pure yellow. I guess I can use some white down here too, wouldn't hurt. Oh yeah, that's nice, because that brightens it up a lot. Yeah, that works. We've got two spots right there too. That's where the Volkswagen headlights are going to be. Yeah. Let's get some more yellow orange over here. Those white headlights aren't going to be that big. That's just what I did. A mistake. That's a mistake that needs to be fixed. That orange up there. I still feel like that's not as orange as it should be. See, the green needs to poke through too. So. Yeah. Okay, it's starting to look the way we want it to look. Let's get some of that yellow ochre and add it to the street now, or to the roadway. It's not really a street, I don't think. It's just a dirt road. Okay, now let's get some of this Payne's gray in there. Darken up some of the shadows from the trees that are crossing the road. I'll make a very light off-color green here to add a few green spots to the leaves that are, all the leaves aren't the same shade of green. Okay, it's starting to get there. All right, let's let that dry a little bit, then we'll come back. Okay. Okay, I think the next step is to put the trees in. I was going to put the Volkswagen in right there, but the paint is still wet, and it'll be, I think, better to do the Volkswagen. It's a defined image. You know, it's a man-made image. You know, man makes cars, so it's a man-made image. God makes trees, so those are God-made images, and man tends to do things like in straight lines and in like these very calculatable shapes, whereas God just is very free, and so the trees are very free. So I think what I'll do is I will start to put in now the vertical lines to represent the trees. That'll give that portion of the painting time to dry, and then I can put in the Volkswagen, okay? And I will keep the camera on so you can see what I'm doing. As you can see, there's lots and lots and lots of vertical lines in there. Lots of trees, in other words. So let's go for that. Let's just take, I think I'll take just a medium-sized brush. And see, here's the thing. There's dark here for this tree here. Some of these other trees are not so dark, so I'm going to kind of go back and forth between probably the Payne's gray for the dark and maybe like a very, very, very light, or very, very, very lightened, I should say, burnt umber for the other ones. So, you know, we got the big one here, we got another one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, got one going this way, which is okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, like 18 or so trees, and then lots of little ones, of course, put in there. So let's just have some fun. And they do grow from the edge of the road, and they go behind some of the trees. So let's just see how it looks. Let's just work on this, okay? We'll work on it with the camera on it. Here we go. And I still have all my paint on. The palette is still wet, so I can do that. So let's start with the big old one. He's right here. And I'm going to do it still in a pointillism kind of a way, so I'm not dragging the brush too much up to the top of the canvas. This will represent that big old foreground tree that we have in the reference photo. Now the truth is, you don't even need a reference photo at this point. You could probably do it from memory. You could probably do it from knowledge of how things look. But I kind of wanted to use that reference photo. It looks like a pretty scene. All right, now let's put a skinnier one over here. And again, these are all just, they're not really trees, they're vertical lines. Your eye will perceive them as trees, but they're not really trees, of course. Of course they're not trees. It's paint. Okay, and we'll get some coming up from here. Just drag it up, little points one at a time. I want to make sure we get some of these over here. Now some of these are hidden by some of the leaves, so it's not a complete line. It makes its way to the top of the canvas, to the top of the picture. And a few more here. I think I counted 18, right? But then there's lots of little ones also. I mean, uncountable. Well, you could count them, I guess, but it'd take forever. But we just want to do a painting. We want to have a nice painting. Trees tend to grow every which way they want. This one tree in this reference photo, it has a little bit of a bend to it, so I'm going to put one here with a little bend to it. Yeah, looks like that. That looks all right. It's starting to happen, see? And basically all I'm using is Payne's gray right now. Now, that's not what I said I was going to do. I said I was going to use some of the brown. Let me use some of the lighter umber stuff, the burnt umber. Put some in the background here, because the background is so dark you won't be able to see it if I put dark. So I'll put the light, because the trees are not brown, or they're not black, I should say. they're not gray. They're kind of trees are a mixture. And the truth is, you're not painting trees anyway. You're painting the impression of a tree, the idea of a tree. So, there we go. My phone just made some noise. Okay. Maybe we'll put some more lines here. Get some more. Now, one thing that might offset some of these trees is a little bit of light on the side of the trees. And the way we do that is we just add some lighter color to it, to the side. If you're drawing, you know how when you draw a tree, you will shade one side more than the other. So that's what that's about. Let's take another tree and kind of do it partially here and there. And we can always paint leaves, orange leaves, over the areas that we might have overdone. If we overdo the trees, it's okay. It's not going to hurt anybody. And as I said at the opening, hopefully if you discover painting as a way for you to relax, that you're not worrying, you're not fretting too much over the likeness of trees. If you're doing a portrait, you gotta kind of worry about that. You gotta get the likeness of a portrait. But when you're doing trees, when you're doing landscapes, you can really have fun. You can really be relaxed. You don't have to be so anal about it. Kind of hate that word, but it's what people say. So here we go. Just more vertical lines. Now see how these vertical lines or these trees really do change everything. I mean, they make the whole picture come alive. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing how that worked? I think so. Okay, let's get some lighter ones. Let's put some yellow into that Payne's gray. Make it more like a gray instead of a Payne's gray. And let's just put a few of those in there. It's not quite light enough. I'm just adding white and yellow to the Payne's gray to give a little bit of gray. Let me get a smaller brush. Smaller brush will work, I think. That's a little bit too overkill right there, but that's okay. We can fix that. Just a little hint of vertical lines in this back area here. Because you're going to be able to see something through those trees. There we go. I lost count. I stopped worrying about the number. So I don't know if I have 18 or not, but it's okay. It's okay. Come on, don't be so worried about it. Okay? Let's get through this life without worrying too much. Okay? Deal? That's a deal. Alright. I think I'm starting to see it now. You see it's coming together. I don't know if that area is dry yet for me to do the Volkswagen, but I'm going to add a few more leaves here while I have the small brush in my hand while I'm waiting for that other area to dry. So same thing over here. We're going to put some let's look at that reference photo again. Let's add some areas down here that are bright. Let's brighten this up a little bit down here. Let's put some bright spots in here. So this all comes together and we can see it all happening as one big composition. There we go. Some more dappled light. Some very light yellow over here. Yeah. There we go. Okay, let's get some dark orange down here, and some red. Yeah, I think the red works well. There's still a little bit of red left on this palette, so I'll go ahead and get it. Okay, let's put some more trees over here. Try to get some little tiny hints of limbs over here. Over here too. Yeah, now it looks like a wooded area, right? You can put some orange in the street because some of these leaves have obviously fallen into the roadway. So just go ahead and give some color there. And I'm not painting any leaves at all, it's all just dots. Okay, now let's take a very small brush, or a brush with a small tip, and let's put a little bit of highlight on some of these trees, on the side of some of them, just to bring them out a little bit. So I'll use this yellow oxide, and just grab it, just put it on there, a little bit of sunlight hitting that side. You know, I'm going to use it. You could use that No, it's too far away. All right, here we go. There we go. Here we go. A little bit over here on this one. A little bit. Can you see it on there? Okay. There's a little bit of light hitting the sides of these trees. Here we go. Over here. There we go. There we go. There's some trees and some light reflecting off the side of them. I think that's okay. Let's see if that area is dry enough now for that Volkswagen. If it is, let's see. I'm gonna hold it up to the light so I can see the reflection. See if it's wet. Where's the light? There it is. It's close. So that's what we have so far. I don't know if you can see it very well. But, Alright, so that's going to be the Volkswagen right there where those red dots are. I mean white dots. That's the headlights. Alright, turn it off and we'll be back. Okay, now I'm going to do... Whoops, something fell. Oh, my fan. I turned the fan off because it was too noisy. So I'm going to do, or attempt to do, the Volkswagen in the middle. Alright, here we go. So it's a red Volkswagen. So I have red paint. So we're just going to start with that. It's not completely dry yet, but I'm just going to work it in there and see what I can do. You see that white headlight is still not dry, so kind of risky doing this, I guess. But that one doesn't need to be. That's a little too far away, I think. I spread them out too far. Alright, so here we go. I want to make a little tiny area for a headlight. There it is. And I'll do the other one in a second. Put it right over here about. It's about where it goes. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of white to the red to make it lighter. Almost pink. Almost pink. I'm going to put a little edge there where the sunlight is hitting it, the side of the vehicle. A little hint of a white line across here. Bottom of the windshield. There's that headlight. There's another headlight that's kind of big. I kind of messed up on that. Right now I want to take the paint's gray and I'm going to lighten it almost to the point where it looks white. What I want to do is take it across the top, like the top of the Volkswagen. the roof. And then the front bumper. Those headlights are way too big. And then let's use Payne's Gray for the windshield. Gonna have to shrink those headlights a lot. To get those headlights smaller, I might have to wait for it to dry. Yeah, I mean, it's not even close. So. See if I can scrape that off of there and start over again. I'll just kind of scrape it off. But we got the idea. So, alright, let's start over again. Let's get a smaller brush. Smaller. Alright, let's get that front of that Volkswagen in there. Paint it in very gently. Again, this is from a screenshot. My reference photo is a screenshot from Trout and Coffee. So if you get a chance, look them up on YouTube. They do some very pretty videos. Beautiful. Beautiful videos. Alright, now let's do this. See if I can get that headlight looking normal size now. That might be enough. That might be enough of a headlight right there. Alright. There's the bumper. Let's get that very light Payne's Gray. Go back to the roof. It's kind of a trick you learn when you're painting snow, is to use light blue instead of white. Okay, I'm going to stop because I'm not really happy with that Volkswagen. And part of the problem is it's wet, and I'm painting wet on wet. So that's one of the problems I'm having right now. I do think I want to add a few more spots of color though to the area behind it, so that it's a little bit lit back there instead of being so dark. It looks a little bit too dark to me. I just have a couple places where the light is being caught on a leaf, and yeah, I kind of like the way that looks. I mean, the composition, the Volkswagen is not that good right now. Hopefully I can fix that. I hope. I just want to get a few more areas of foliage-looking leaves into the picture. Make it look more autumn-esque, I guess you would say. Yeah, it actually doesn't look too bad, really. It's okay, not too bad. It's just that I'm working wet on wet, and it's not easy, especially like that, you know. And I really need the doweling rod. Is that what you call a doweling rod? So, all right. You know, the painting is just about done actually, but I do need to let that dry, and then I'll fix that part of it that needs to have the Volkswagen looking more like a Volkswagen. All right, let me show you to you up close. There it is. You get it out of the glare. And there's a glare coming from the window. I don't know if you can see it or not, but anyway, that's the idea. Yeah, you need to work on that Volkswagen a little bit better. But I think you get the idea. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so now I waited about an hour, and the Volkswagen is... I'm going to hold it up to the light to see if I can see. It's not quite dry. And you know what? In the spirit of pointillism, not pointillism, impressionism. In the spirit of impressionism, it's probably good enough. But I feel like I want to make it a little bit better. So I have my hand stabilizing rod. And let's see if I can get that looking just a little bit better, so that I won't regret it the rest of my life. Okay, this holds my hand steady. Let me just get some of this red paint here. Yeah, the stabilizing rod does a lot. There's another word for it. I don't know if it's called a doweling rod or what, but but anyway, so yeah, I just want to make the Volkswagen look a little bit better. Not quite happy with it. Just a little bit. Give it a bumper here. And I believe the windshield is probably a little bit too square. I need to make it rounder. So I'm going to use the Payne's Gray and do it with that. Just round it out a little bit. Yeah, this rod is very helpful. This stick. Just to, I don't know, it's probably, like I say, in the spirit of pointillism, it's probably okay to leave it like it is, but you know, I'm preaching to myself when I say it doesn't need to look like a photograph, and I'm not trying to make it look like a photograph, but I don't know. You know how it is when there's like one little thing that bothers you? Well, this is that one thing in this picture. A little bit here and there, a little touching up. Yeah, it might not be any better at all by the time I'm done with this, but so there we go. Make the tires a little bit more, a little wider. the shadow a little bit more defined. And then I think what I want to do is add a few more spots of leaves. I keep feeling like there should be a few more little areas. Maybe even a little bit more light on the roadway that's peeking through the trees. So hopefully that's going to be enough to make the finished picture look good. Yeah, I guess it looks like a Volkswagen now. Like I say, it's a little dabbles here and there to give the illusion of leaves in the background and that whole autumn feel is driving a Volkswagen through the woods in the autumn. And again, thank you, Trout and Coffee. It's a cool name, by the way. I don't know the story behind it, behind the name. I don't know the story behind what they do. But I like watching their videos. They're very relaxing. There we go. I think that works now. I mean, it looks enough like a Volkswagen to me. Can you even see it? Did I forget to move this? I should have moved it over. Anyway, so there we go. All right. Now, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to put my name on it. All right, here we go. All right, let me put my Poppa on there. Poppa. Poppa. Here we go. P. This is only the second painting I'm signing this way, by the way. Because up until the last painting, I signed them with my real name. But I do this now because my little grandson calls me Poppa. And then when he gets these paintings one day, or sees them or knows about them, then he'll say, hey, Poppa did those paintings. Right? That's what you want. You want your children and your grandchildren to call you but the name they know you as, right? All right, Poppa 23. Let me put 23. Almost done with 23. Almost done. 2. Got a little paint on there. 2, 3. Poppa 2, 3. There we go. All right, it's on there. Okay, well, thank you for watching. A little bit long today. I didn't edit it down as much as I did the last one, but I hope you like the painting. Hope you like the video. If you do, please subscribe. Please like. If you want to contact me, you can leave a message in, well, I don't know, wherever you do that. I'm here. I'm looking at that Volkswagen now, thinking it's passable. All right, take care. See ya. Bye.